Guys, this is going to be a quick tutorial on how to create the pop art effect using Photoshop. So first thing you want to do is go look up an image that you'd like to use. It could be a celebrity, it could be a picture of you, a picture of a friend. What you do want it to have is a basic background in the back, so solid color, white if you could. If you find a black and white one, it does do more of the work for you, like any of these. But if you can't find one or the one that you really like is in color, that's okay, because I'm going to show you how to change it into black and white. So once you find one that is high quality too, you're going to save it, download it and save it to your computer, move it to your USB. Then you're going to come to Photoshop and you're going to open up that file. So once you have it opened up in Photoshop, mine is a little bit below the waist, so I'm going to crop it. If yours is as well, make sure you crop it down. So your crop tool is over here, and this seems about good. I'd hate to cut off her ponytail, but there we go. Again, mine is not black and white, so I have to convert mine. To do that, you can duplicate your background layer, and I'm going to add an adjustment for black and white. This is where everybody's settings might change for the black and white. You can manually come in here and adjust these sliders and you'll get different effects. For all of this, you do just want to make sure that you have dark grays, you have highlights, and then your mid-tone grays. I like to just use this preset that's labeled darker. Okay. Once you're happy with the way the black and white looks, you want to select both of these layers by holding down Shift, right click, and merge layers. Right. Again, if yours does not have a solid background color like mine does, you are going to have to use a selection tool. Interesting. And you're going to have to cut out the person from the background. But since mine is a solid background, I don't have to worry about cutting them. Again, you would use whatever selection tool and then you'd create a layer mask, and that's it for that part. Alright, let's duplicate this one more time, and let's call this one halftone. Alright, so you should have a black and white, a halftone, and I'm actually going to hide this one for now. This is just my backup in case anything goes wrong. So have the halftone selected. You're going to come up to filter, and you're going to go to filter gallery down here, not the one up here, down here. Oops, and an error that I made. Before you go to filter gallery, make sure that your color down here is black and white. So I just clicked on this little thing. If it has any other color, you'll see it's going to be applied to that filter. So black and white, filter gallery. You're looking for halftone, which should be under the sketch folder. It says halftone pattern. Contrast is going to be different for everybody, but again, you want to have some rich contrast here. And I think I'm okay with it being at 3. The size of the dot should not be too big, y'all. So if I were to zoom in, I can see the dots right here. That's actually a perfect size. If I go up to 2, this is a bit too big and a little too distracting, but I'll allow 1 and 2. Anything bigger than that does not look good. So I'm going to stick to 1 and 3. Pattern type should be dot. And then hit OK. Okay, we want to turn this halftone layer to a multiply blending mode 2. And then we want to add a solid color as well. So I'm going to click on this black and white one and go to solid color. And you can always come back and change this as well. Alright. This is just going to help me see if I miss any spots of coloring. Alright, so you want to build up a bunch of layers in between these two here. So I'm going to select the color fill and add empty layers. So these are basically, you're manually going to color in every section of this photo. So I'll start off with skin because that's probably the easiest and largest part we're going to paint. Then her dress. You do want to name these, and you do want to make sure you're painting on the right layer. So we have skin, dress. Let's say her hair. So I'll explain this next part. Eyeballs for the white part of her eyes, and then this one can be eyeshadow. I'm going to add one for lips, maybe blush. Okay, so you'll manually now grab your brush tool, and let's say start off with the skin. I'm going to hit OK. And since this is the bottom one, I can kind of be a bit more loose with it. Since everything is in its own layer, if you do go a little past that, you can grab your eraser tool and erase some of that stuff. Right. Since I am digging this color, I'm going to come back to my color dropper here, and I want to hit add to swatches and save any color that you're going to use, because if you miss a spot, it's hard to grab the exact same color. What did I? Yeah, add to swatches. Okay. Oops. It's right there. Alright, so paint some of this on. Not too worried about the dress because that's the layer on top. And now let's move over to the dress. Make sure we're on the right layer. I'm doing a speed run on this, but you guys will take your time to make sure that you paint everything on carefully. I actually don't want it to be a soft brush, so there we go. We could have actually done two colors in this dress, but to save time, we won't. Right, hair's neck. Oh, before I change that color, let me add that to swatches too. And let's move over to hair. I'm going to hit pause in this part so I can speed run the painting portion. Alright, y'all, once you're done coloring everything and you made sure you saved all the colors that you used, if you did change your mind about the background color, since this is an adjustment layer, you can always double click on here and then change it to whatever color you'd like, but I'm okay with this for now. One more thing we have to do is go ahead and click on the halftone layer up at the top. I actually didn't end up using any blush, so I can delete this one. At halftone, filter, you're going to go over to sharpen, and you want to select Smart Sharpen. And this is just going to bring up that halftone pattern a bit more. The amount right now is set to 300, radius to 2, but you can definitely bring this down a bit. It's actually happy with it at 2. That looks okay with me. Alright. So the next thing we're doing is we're going to actually save this first. Save as your last name, first name, initial, pop art, Photoshop file, and let's pretend this is my USB here. Okay, so you want to have your PSD file to begin with. Then you want to export. You can do a quick PNG export here. Pop art and then save. Alright. You want to go to File, New, and we can start off with a tabloid size for now and hit create. And this is where you want to bring in that PNG image you just saved. The PSD is there in case we need to go back. And let's resize this to about there. Alright. Actually, this is a better size here. And I'm going to grab my... Actually, let's duplicate this one. So I'm going to make a copy and slide it over. Now I can grab my crop tool and actually start sizing the canvas. Right, grab your move tool, select both of these, copy them, drag them down, and grab your crop tool again. Oops. So I might actually have this too big. Let's see. I don't know what that was, but okay. I've cropped it to have, you're looking to have a minimum of 4, but you can have up to 8 different pictures. And this is doing them all as smart objects, so we want to go ahead, and you can keep them as such. But I prefer rasterizing them to keep this a little bit smaller. Okay, so what we're going to do next is add an adjustment layer, or a hue and saturation adjustment layer for each and every one of them, but you're going to create a clipping mask for all of them too. So right click. Oh, there we go. It's not. No, 1 second. the purpose for these is so you can come in here and change the color of each of them individually, but for some reason it's not giving me the, oh, here we go, create clipping mask, create clipping mask, there we go. So you can come in here and change the color of each of them individually like this, instead of manually doing every single color manually again. Okay, so again, you should have 4 up to 8. Once you have them like this, you're gonna hit File, Save As. Final. And then you want to change this one to be a Photoshop PDF file, and this is the one you're going to be submitting. And that's it for this tutorial.